Okay, so piggybacking off of my previous video about the Chebe, there has been a couple questions that I've gotten about it, including, does it really help hair growth? Like, is this legit or not? And like, does it help for curly hair, 4C texture, things like that? So the thing to remember is that again, there's no magical growth kind of spurt thing for hair. Despite what some fads say, there's nothing that's just you're going to put it there and all of a sudden you're going to see hair growth. But does this actually help the hair to grow? From what I've seen, absolutely, yes. And even so for curly and 4C hair. There's a couple things here. Is there a genetic element here? Yes, there is. There is a genetic element for a determined length of hair. But that does not mean that curly hair doesn't grow. I want to debunk that myth right away. Many people believe that like curly hair or 4C hair can't get really long, but it can. It can get even up to waist length, sometimes even longer than that. Usually the misconception comes because curly hair will usually grow out. It will grow in thickness rather than what you will see visibly in length. But if you was to straighten that thick hair, you will still see it in length. So yes, with proper moisture, 4C hair can get just as much hair growth as any other. Now, again, there's a genetic element, but most of it is wrapped into the hair nutrients and the moisture that you give it. So it's important that you get the hair food that works best for you. And that's why, make sure that you check out my book, Back into My Mother's Arms, because I detail a lot of that, especially for African descended people and for curlier hair, because a lot of our very natural, organic products are in fact tailored specifically for our hair growth, which is something you would not find in, mainstream products. I mentioned that I don't really prefer using the Parachute coconut oil, even though it is 100% coconut oil, but that's because it really can dry our hair out. And what I found to work much better is 100% pure black castor oil. But I don't have any anymore. I've used it all. And so one reason that you would have seen me use rosemary essential oil is because the rosemary essential oil actually has medicinal properties which feeds into the scalp and hair growth. It can help with moisturizing and cleansing actually the scalp as well, and uplifting the hair. Why does this always happen when I come on video? But uplifting the hair cuticles. Sorry, that's the word. Allowing it to breathe more, which essentially helps it to grow as well. So with that being said, how many times do you actually have to apply the Chebe? In fact, one of the elements that helps hair to grow the most, according, again, all of this is based on research and also my personal experience, is to actually leave it alone. Combing it and washing it every single day is not actually necessary to help the hair to grow. Usually you would find other hair types doing that because of the natural oil that builds up in their scalp, and so it's necessary for them to comb it out and wash it out nearly every day. But for us, usually our hair, and this is whether you are 4C, 4B, doesn't matter. Usually if you have any kind of a curly or texture hair, your hair can tend to dry out more. So it doesn't have its own natural oil that builds up in the scalp. Because it dries out, that's what usually you'll see affects its hair growth. But that doesn't mean that you need to now moisturize your hair every single day. So traditionally, from what I've understood about Chebe and it's the women from Tashad who use it, is that they will use it once a week. They will apply it in their hair and braid it up. They will infuse it into the parts of their hair and braid it up. And then they will leave it like that for at least a week, and then wash it and reapply it again. I do not always part my hair and braid it. Well, I do part my hair in order to comb it and to apply the chebe, but I don't always braid it into parts because sometimes I have to go out and I don't always want my hijab looking crazy. So, I still do the same thing. I still part it and then I will comb it all together and then leave it for about a week and then reapply it. Now for extra benefit or moisture, you can actually undo your plaits or your parts or your hair midway through the week, and you don't need to wash it again. Just reapply the chebe again. Probably like, let's say that you applied it, for example, today is Sunday, so let's say that you put it on a Sunday, maybe around Tuesday or Wednesday. You can undo your plaits or undo your hair. Reapply that paste that I showed you earlier. Reapply that into the hair. Plait it back up and then leave it again until the next Sunday. Or you can just leave it straight until Friday, Jummah, or Saturday. You can take it back out, wash it, and then reapply the chebe like that. That's if you really want to see visible hair growth at a much faster rate. Otherwise, if you're just doing it just for healthy hair or, some hair growth, but, it's not really like a super necessity or something like that, then you can just apply it as you'd like, wash it as you like, keep it a little more casual with it. Just know that the effects is going to be different, okay? Is it also important to include oil for the paste? Absolutely, because of course the powder is dry. And also if you apply water, it can actually have a reverse effect where it's going to actually dry out your hair instead of moisturizing it. So the oil really helps it to be moisturized. All right, is that everything? So yeah, how many times to apply it? Oh, yeah. And also about combing it out. Again, combing your hair too much is not going to be beneficial. It could actually pull at the hair, which can cause it to come out. Again, I'm not like a hairstylist or anything like this, but this is just based off of research and what the people from Sudan and Tashad have actually told me about using chebe, and also what they use here. Here in Somalia, they have their own remedies which they do as well, and usually they'll do it on a every Juma basis. So again, combing the hair too much, like 2 times a day or every single day, is not always necessary. If you can do it at least twice a week, once a week is also okay. If you leave it alone, you'll actually start to recognize hair growth. And again, if you want to see all of the evidence and everything that I'm discussing here, go ahead and take a look at my book, Back into My Mother's Arms, where I do reference a lot of these topics. The next thing is about it being really messy. But yeah, sorry. It is very important to actually comb your hair though before you apply the chebe. That is really important though, because it's important that you take out the dead hair before reapplying it to the remaining healthy hair. So you need to, this is getting long. So you need to actually make sure that you apply the chebe, apply the chebe after you have already thoroughly combed your hair. And I actually use two. I use a detangling comb and then just like a combing brush, which I do after the rest is already done. So first I use the detangling comb, and then afterwards I will use the combing brush. And now if it's a big mess, then that's the next part. So this is the chebe powder, as I showed you guys in the previous video. This is the chebe powder. This is what's used to make the paste and to moisturize the hair. But if you are really a person that's on the go, or you don't feel like cleaning it up, or you don't have the time to clean up, you don't have the chance, or you just don't want to, you just don't want to deal with that, I would suggest to use chebe shampoo. The chebe shampoo is basically cocoa butter, which is pure cocoa butter with Chebe infused into it. You mix it up, and you only need to use a little bit of this because it gets pretty sudsy right away. So you only need to use about like a handful or fingerful of this. And apply it to the hair. Will it have the same effect? Not necessarily. It's not going to necessarily have the same effect as if you use the two of them together, but it will actually contribute to your hair getting much healthier. And remember, it's not always sometimes about the products as well. Making sure that you're drinking an adequate amount of water, or even some herbal teas, or even just using herbs, herbal oils and herbs in your hair all works together to contribute to this. So again, that's all I wanted to add today, and this has gotten much longer than I intended for it to be. So if you've stuck with me, I'll probably have to upload this to YouTube because it is longer. And again, if you are interested in getting these products, you can DM me on my social media, travel teach heal, sorry. And I will let you know where you can get it. Otherwise, you can try to find it locally. And again, thank you so much for watching this. And yeah, stick with me and I'll show you more healing remedies, natural traditional methods straight from the motherland, straight from Africa, inshallah. See you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.